So we'll wrap this up.
You should have done that to begin with. Now I'm pregnant.
Fuck!
If I were to have a podcast.
If I were to have a podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of If I Were to Have a Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mike Keslak, and I am here with...
Gerry Vincent.
Yes, and today we have a very special guest because he is wearing the actual socks from Freddy Krueger's wardrobe. And we are very excited to talk about that at some point. But we are here with Patrick James. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. How are you doing today?
Today's a good day.
Today is a good
It's
day.
a good day.
Yes. It's a good day for us, specifically for me, because for everybody listening or watching, Patrick James is like family to me. He has been my hairstylist for a long time, from what's left. He was Gerry's, but then he gave up. And he's been we've been very, very close. So, and I'm not going to talk any more about him, though, because I want him to introduce himself. So, Patrick, who are you and what do you do?
Oh my God. Gerry gave up. I didn't give up.
That's
I
what I
can
meant.
put hair on that head.
Do it. Please. For the love of God, please. Help.
Who are you? Isn't that the question always, right? Who are you?
Yeah.
I am your run-of-the-mill hairstylist, vegan, gay, astrologically inclined, social justice warrior. That's
That's
about it.
Sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's the best way that you could have described you. I couldn't have described you any better. So I would have said a lot worse things.
Person of many hats with a good head of hair underneath.
Isn't that
Yes.
funny?
Yeah, I know. My God. Luscious, luscious locks. So thank you for sharing that of who you are now, Patrick,
The most important question of the day.
that Gerry has for you.
If you were to have a podcast, what would it be?
If I were to have a podcast, it would be a lifestyle podcast.
Okay. Can you explain what that means?
Isn't it wonderful you don't already know?
Yeah.
That's the beauty. So what's lifestyle, right? Everybody's is different. What part of a person's life is the style? Is it, is it your political affiliations that make you who you are? Is it your workout regimens? Is it the kinds of foods you eat? Is it the movies and media you consume? Is it where you travel? The beauty of lifestyle is that I would be able to kind of take it wherever I wanted to.
Nice.
It's versatility. And it also means that I get to kind of focus on the things that I'm passionate about and never have to get told, well, that's not on brand. It's really fun.
Nice.
So similar to kind of like what we've created
Very similar.
in a way of just nicheless.
I'm not going to say I have been telling Mike to do stuff like this for a long time.
You're not going to say it. You said it. Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've been suggesting that we have a podcast for the past 10 years, and I've been trying to push him toward it, but he's just like, no, we got to come up with the right idea. And
Yeah. And we did. And here we are.
Yeah.
we did.
And I mean, it just
definitely me trying to push you to have a podcast.
definitely wasn't me
Yeah.
pushing it on you
no.
because you love being in front of the
Just so
camera.
afraid of being on camera.
Yep,
You were
that's
just so
me.
afraid of being-
Petrified.
You don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to talk at all. At all.
No.
I'm so glad I'm getting you out of the comfort zone.
Yep.
Yeah. Speak.
All right. So, sorry. Yes, Gerry. Jesus Christ.
I want you to know I'm breaking the fourth wall again. I was at his wedding. They're not married.
We're not.
It may seem like
contrary
we are.
to very popular belief.
Very popular belief.
We're not married. We even have the
Yeah.
same ring.
We do matching rings.
It's really kind
yeah.
of
I know. It's weirder because we have each other's initials in them.
Yeah.
So
I'm
but-
going to pretend that that's not true.
Good.
Okay.
Do it. So this lifestyle podcast, why would you, what would navigate you towards something like that? Or these interests and,
So
because you also talked about like it would highlight your interests.
we'll talk about hair for a second at the same time.
Okay.
I'm a hairstylist. We all know this. I spend a lot of time behind the chair focusing on everything other than hair. You would not believe it. So it's kind of one of those things where I think it would fall really hand in hand with what I already do in life anyway. It kind of would be more of a reaffirmation on a day-to-day, but also I am on a journey of learning and growth just like anybody else. So I would look at this podcast as an opportunity for me to grow. Like, how do I get people who I'm inspired by onto a show to talk about something that I could learn from? How do I get people who actually make an impact onto the show so that I can further their reach? Where can I go? You know, there's only so much I can do in a salon.
Yeah.
It would take what I already do and it would make it bigger.
Gotcha. Well, one of the things that I like, and I'll let you word it better than me, is that, you know, the salon isn't just a place to cut hair or style hair or color hair. What is a salon to you?
A watering hole. That's kind of always what they have been. And we've seen a cultural shift the last probably 50 or 60 years, especially in the last 10 or 15 years alone. But beautification has always been kind of the backbone of a cultural society. We come together to kind of decide as a group of people what we think is aesthetically pleasing. And I think people often talk about beautification just as like physical attributes, but beautification is the way that you would design a building as an architect or the way that you would lay out a public park. So it's kind of one of those things that if you didn't have places for people to go where they could work on their external self, where they are surrounded by other community members, where they can network and they can meet their neighbor and they can kind of have that sense of community, you would have seen a very different trajectory that the human race took. Like, we wouldn't be where we are now if we didn't have, ironically, we would not be where we are now if we did not have hairstylists and barbers. Back in the Middle Ages, your hairstylist was also your butcher and your surgeon. They were the only ones who understood the muscle, the circulatory system. They were the only ones who really got how to work with knives and how to work with shears and scissors. So again, it's one of those things where it's like modern hairstylists were born out of medieval doctors.
Interesting.
Before that, most of the time, if you were a hairstylist, you were a slave. So like Roman times, Greek times, all the way back through ancient Egypt. And it was a different type of slavery. You were treated like you were a human being. It wasn't like American slavery, but it was actually a really prestige position to hold within the hierarchy of slave jobs, because you were in the house all the time. You weren't doing hard labor. You got to wear nice clothes because you were constantly around nobles and they didn't want to see anything distasteful. So you had a pretty gushy life if you were a stylist, and you still had to kind of understand what we now know as like form and function, which is really cool. And I don't know, I'm about to nerd out, but basically like hair history is one of the things that I find absolutely fascinating. And when you go back and you start looking through hair history and fashion history, the integral roles that are played culturally, it's insane. The first hairpiece was a way for women to be able to cheat on their husbands without getting caught.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that why my wife has so many wigs?
maybe. Are they her wigs, Gerry?
The Jerry's.
Mine is.
You're literally bald.
Yeah.
It's called a merkin.
Okay.
But basically, these men would go away during the Crusades, and they'd be gone for decades. It would take like 6 years just to get to Jerusalem from France, and then you'd be there fighting for 5 or 6 years, and then it would take you 5 or 6 years to get home. So you'd be gone for 15, 20 years. No one's going without, So
Without what, Patrick? They're going without what?
you know what?
Spell it out.
Spell it out.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep going.
So that's a good way to spell it out. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this was also around the time that crabs started becoming very prevalent throughout modern Europe, which is really just like a combination of lots of people packed together and the lack of sanitation. But what women would do is they'd shave their pubic hair off. They would then get rid of their crabs, but then their husbands would come home and they'd be clean shaven and they'd know, like, oh, you weren't faithful while I was away. So they would take the hair and they would actually create what's called a merkin, and they would glue it back in place. So when their husbands got home, they were none the wiser.
They use that in a lot of film though. Like when there's a frontal scene.
Yes,
usually
they
it's-
do.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
What was that movie with Nicole Kidman? The Northman?
Oh, the North.
Was that what
Yeah,
it was called?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she was in that.
Anya Taylor
Joy.
Joy.
was in that movie as well.
Okay.
And she has a full frontal scene, and you can tell like it's a merkin because she's like smooth all the way down, and then boom.
Just in your face.
I can't believe I just said that on camera.
It's all good.
So
That'll be the clip that we cut out and then we put into his promo. Yeah, smooth all the way down, and then boom.
So, like, what got you into hair then? Was it the Merkins? Or was it
Oh,
something
yeah.
a little bit more?
No, I actually did not want to do hair.
Really?
So my family's full of nurses and full of just people in the medical profession, CNAs, therapists, the whole nine yards. And I always thought that's where I was going to go, kind of following in the family footprint. And I went to a vocational school for high school. I was a CNA for a long time. I went to nursing school right after I graduated. My first 3 patients died. And I was like, no, absolutely not. This is
That'll
not for
do it.
me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I was 17 when I graduated high school. I was really way too young, I think, to have the responsibility of what nursing really. Props to anybody who's in the nursing profession, because I cannot do what they do. I'm a very powerful human being. I cannot do what they do. And I give them all the credit in the world, but it just also wasn't for me. So I started going to Middlesex Community College, and I was going to go for poli-sci. I thought, well, either I'll get in on a political campaign and I'll start working as a campaign organizer and work my way up to some kind of, hopefully really great position. I thought maybe working in the field of psych and politics and studying the way groups of people vote and why they vote the way they vote would be really interesting. And I joined a student leadership group called PERG. They are the largest nonprofit student organization in the country. And I worked with them for a few years. And I can't believe I'm telling you guys this right now, but I was elected into their board chair position. So I was running the entire state of Massachusetts. And I went down to a student leadership conference, and they were hosting you at George Washington University. And I got caught smoking weed on campus.
Nice.
And I got sent home. And I realized then and there, like, that's really not where I want. Not then and there. I'd been realizing it for a while, and I think I kind of sabotaged it on purpose in a weird way, because I kind of realized there's not much you can do in the world of politics. There's really not much somebody like you or I could actually influence. It's kind of sad, but it's true. And so I started really asking myself, where am I going to be most influential? Where can I have the biggest impact in the least amount of time? And years before, my dad had said to me, why don't you go to hair school? You love doing hair. And I was 18, and I looked at him and I was like, I don't want to be another gay hairstylist. And so I went to hair school, and I became another gay hairstylist. And now it's been 14 years
Wow.
doing hair. It's a love-hate relationship. It's something that I'm always kind of in love with and also ready to give up at any given moment. I don't align with my industry very often, socially or culturally. I don't think that we really hit the mark as a beautification industry. We are technically part of SAG-AFTRA as well. So if I were to join a union, I'd also be joining the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter what direction I go, whether I'm going, corporate, or whether or not I'm going, through some kind of guild, or if I'm going to be, or union, or if I'm going to be working behind the chair, there's always something wherever I am that kind of makes me feel a little bit like, oh, I don't love the way I feel when I'm going to bed at night. Something about this kind of rubs me wrong. Either it's the, maybe the ingredient list of the product that I'm having to push, or maybe it's the way the color company is teaching you how to color that I know is either the most expensive way, or maybe a way that isn't the least damaging, even if it's not the most damaging. Or maybe it's even something down to social media and how I feel kind of a paralysis about how to market myself when I don't want to push unhealthy beautification standards.
Yeah.
It's a rough position to be a spiritualist in an industry that's all about materialism.
Yeah. So what keeps you going then? What keeps you in it?
I get a lot of texts from people after they've had sit downs with me and I'll preface, I get a lot more texts from people that they love the way that I made them feel, or they loved the clarity or the conversation that was had, or the sense of peace that they had when they were done with me. But I get just enough texts from people that will say, this was the best haircut I've ever been given. I feel beautiful 24/7. Or, this color really just makes my skin glow, and I've always been really uncomfortable. And, every time I look in the mirror right now, it just looks smooth. And I think I have a little bit of ugly duckling syndrome, so that really tugs at my heartstring. When I hear something like that directed towards me, it's like, okay, that was rewarding enough. I want another hit of that. And I think that knowing that where I don't know best yet how to push myself forward, this is giving me an opportunity to still be helpful and still be useful as I figure out what is next. And it's also kind of like practice. I get to sit one-on-one with people all day long, and I get to hone my skill at working as a coach, helping people through things, or working as like a mentor, guiding people who've gone through experiences that I've gone through. Or even just kind of honing my skill in a sense of creating an environment or an atmosphere where a person can feel vulnerable enough to have conversations that they wouldn't normally have, which I think is kind of like my area of expertise. I kind of know that my job is to go into a situation and then steer it from negative to positive and bring it back into alignment, and then kind of give it up and go, okay, I've done my job, on to the next crisis, Yeah.
So you're what keeps Mike Kaslak so positive.
He is one of the big.
Yes.
He's one of the big elements that does. Yes,
We do have a lot of talks, actually.
all the time. Yeah,
He tells me from time to time.
I do.
You are his therapist.
You
he tells me
essentially
that
are.
every day.
Yeah,
I am not a therapist.
Yes.
he almost anything that you can think of that we've experienced business wise or personal wise. Patrick is usually the other person to know. It's usually Kim, you, and Patrick. And those are always the big things, and I can attest on the types of advice that's always given, and just of it being a very safe space, if you will, always being in Patrick's chair and around him, and that's something that has brought us together as as we are family now. But it's been something that I am very, very thankful for and grateful for. So
It's funny because there are different types of sessions with me. Sometimes Mike will come in and he'll just tell me what's going on. He doesn't want the advice. It's about the only time that Mike will be like, I really need your opinion, is if he's having some kind of moral dilemma where he's going, I think I am stuck in a rock and a hard place, and I don't know what the right decision is feeling wise. Otherwise, really, I'm just your sounding board, which I think is kind of the point. I'm not a therapist. My job is not to fix the way you feel about things. My job is, in point of fact, to just kind of give you tools that help you tolerate the things going on in your life while you're working on yourself. I'm kind of like a companion to a therapist. In fact, it'd be really cool if there were like tons of me around where you went to therapy and then after therapy, you had someone like me that was sort of like your watchdog going, so are you doing what your therapist said? Like, did you write your affirmations today? Have you
therapist
gone
aid.
for your walk? Did you drink your water? Like mini moms.
Yes, like a dog, like the dog I am. Yeah.
It's really, really difficult to do things. It's really easy to say, oh, these are all things that I should be doing for myself, but it's really hard to put them into practice. And it's really, really hard to put them into practice when you're not in an environment where people are motivating you to keep going. So it's like, I always kind of wonder how effective any healing tool is if we don't have, again, the community surrounding us to keep it going. And I think that's kind of what makes my space unique, is that it doesn't matter if you have a one-on-one session with me or if your session is interrupted by someone coming in or if there's another client that's working at the same time. There is truly a sense of community. Sometimes people talk to each other more than me about really crazy in-depth stuff. Like the conversation just starts and flows. And then sometimes it's my job to get out of the way as opposed to guide. Those are some of my favorite conversations to happen in the suite. I love what I do. I just don't love where I do it.
Got it.
I would love to be able to like do it on a bigger scale, like a podcast where I get to really reach a wider audience, or even on a circuit. One of my favorite people in the world is Esther Hicks. She is Abraham Hicks for a lot of people. She is just absolutely fabulous. And she started a lot of my healing and my spiritual journey years ago. She travels the world and she just fills hotel rooms, and she gets up on that stage and she just talks about life and law of attraction and, you know, how to maintain a high vibration and just find the good feel. I would love to do that. That would be a dream for me. I'd also love a little tiny farm where I can just grow food. This is why it's a lifestyle show, because I have so many things that I would want that it's like,
So many directions. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. What are some of the biggest takeaways, if you will, from Esther that have really sunk in with your, being, if you will?
I have two very powerful affirmations that I use like broken records.
Okay.
It's, you're never going to get it wrong. You're never going to get it done. And that one speaks to every time I feel imposter syndrome, every time I make a mistake, every time I'm running late for a client, every time I miss a phone call, every time I get into an argument with my partner. Like, that's the one that I can go to, that it's like, I'm never going to get it wrong. This was meant to go the way it was meant to go, and I'm never going to get it done. I'm only in my 30s, chill out. And then the second one is, everything is always working out for me. That one's a big one, because when the unexpected happens, we take it so personally. And the moment we take it personally, it stays with us, and then it multiplies and it comes back on us over and over and over. And we say, I'm in a rut, when in reality, you're literally just holding a magnet. So that one really helps me kind of get out of negative vibration if I've gone too far into like a negative thought process. Those ones were the ones that really helped me. There's tons.
Yeah.
She has one, if I were you, when I wake up in the morning, I would look out and I would look up, and I would think about the fact that every planet is rotating in perfect proximity to the sun, so that I can be here in this time space, and every force of good that has and will ever exist is directed exactly at me in this time space. She's got some powerful quotes. I really
Yeah, that's
enjoy
good.
her.
That's good. Jerry, can you repeat that exactly what he said?
Yes, look out, look up. Planets are there. You're here. Good's coming.
Exactly.
Pretty much it.
That's actually really good, Gerry. I'm kind of impressed with that.
Thank you.
He's a source of affirmations.
I
Do you have
am.
an affirmation, Jerry?
Yeah, I absolutely do.
Is that the affirmation? Yeah.
I absolutely can. And I absolutely will.
You say that a lot too.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's good.
That is good.
That is good.
It
Yeah,
is-
save
that-
it.
Yep, that's
Clip it.
That's already that's been my affirmation.
It's going to be a T-shirt now.
It's
going to
be a
mugs.
T-shirt. Yes.
Very profound. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Wouldn't it be cool if you just saw the little asterisk and then Gerry underneath a quote?
It would.
That would be cool.
I've seen those quotes. Those shouldn't see the light of day. But yes,
Yes. That would be very.
that would be cool. That would be nice. That would be nice.
Oh man, I have an affirmation that only Kim knows. Well, I mean, I told one other person I should.
I was just about to bring her up. I was going to say she must have you whipped with affirmations.
She'll have me.
Definitely has whipped, yeah.
Yeah, she'll have me. Oh, you mean dedicated and invested and loving in my marriage? Yeah,
Yeah.
she does have me.
So
whipped,
those
yeah.
affirmations.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, rewind. I want to know the one that only Kim knows, and now the entire audience of If I Were to Have a Podcast is about to know.
yes.
Size is irrelevant.
What'd you say?
I didn't say it.
Oh God. No. So, well, she says a lot, right? And she'll have me do sometimes because she has a lot that she's come up with as well. And I had one for a while that I just kind of kept to myself that I'll recite frequently and often. But I started doing something where the affirmation is money comes to me frequently and honestly. Right, money comes to me frequently and honestly, and I would say it, deep. So I felt it, and just so it's there. It's not just surface level, and that to me, the reason why I came up with that was because there's such a. We aren't money oriented, but money is a necessity to do everything that we need to do in life, and everything that we want to build, and everything that we want to grow, and to help all the people that we want to help. We really need money to do that, and that was a realization we came to years ago. So when looking at money, there's always been that type of weird relationship with it. And when I started doing that affirmation, it was just a way of being like, money is good, right? Money comes to me honestly and frequently. Money comes to me honestly and frequently. And that is something where money comes often, but it comes honestly, and it comes in a good way. It comes in a genuine way. I'm not making it because I'm distrusting. I'm not making it in a negative way and just trying to like manipulate people. Every way that I make money and that money comes to me is through an honest means, and it's because I am being the best version of myself. People can tell, and we are doing the right things, and that's how we are receiving money, is through the people who we are and what we represent. And that's what that small phrase has meant to me, and that's something that I've been saying for a while now.
That'd be a tough one for me. I don't think I could use that.
Yeah, why is
That
that?
would actually get in the way for me. I can't focus on money
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
When I do, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
it messes up the vibe that I get. I have to really go general and focus on abundance
Yeah.
and let that be where I focus, because for me, it's not like you say money comes, often and honestly. And I'm like, I really wouldn't mind it when somebody buys something like this for me. Or if you want to pay for that, that's totally fine. Like,
Well, yeah.
take me on vacation. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
I'm honestly going to be happy while I'm there.
Yes.
But so no, I really couldn't focus. And that's, how cool is that we're all built so differently that an affirmation that would work for me wouldn't work for you because you have a different moral value or moral set.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have something different behind us that drives us, which all of this money talk brings us to today's sponsor, which is us, 41st Studios. We are today's sponsor. And look at that. Would you look at that beautiful money wall? Mike, your affirmations work. Tell us about this money wall and the other walls.
Well, that money
Adjacent.
wall came to me honestly and frequently.
Nice.
Yeah, it did. Also, the rest of these backdrops, like that one, are a part of our unique, one-of-a-kind rail system that you will not find anywhere else in any other studio.
What's so unique about it?
Well, Gerry, I'm very glad that you asked. We had this created by our wonderful contractor and good friend Dylan Carnes, where you can take all of the backdrops, shift them over to one area so they all condense to save space. And then when you want to use them, you just pull whichever one out that you want to use, and then you can use it, and it saves you time where you don't have to set up backdrops and you don't have to take all the time for that, which can sometimes take, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, sometimes even longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tedious. With this, it takes about 15, 20 seconds, and that's it. And then you just have your lights set up. You can switch between them, which will save you time. And when you're renting a space like this, it will save you money.
Yes, because we do rent by the hour here, and we want to maximize the amount of time that people can create in our studio. How many backdrops do we have over here? How many can people cycle through? How many backdrops do you think people can cycle through over here in a minute?
In a minute?
Yep.
Probably 5 to 6. 6 easily.
I think 6.
6.
Yeah.
They could do 6 easily within a minute. So where that would normally take people about an hour and a half, I think that's pretty much it.
And what the audience doesn't quite see behind these walls, we have traditional pull-down backdrops as well.
Yes.
So the possibilities are really, really endless.
Yeah. And Patrick, as a business owner yourself, if you were to come into a place where you know that you're here to create content, such as this, because there's a lot of business owners like yourself that come in and rent the space, how valuable do you think something like this is?
Like, how much did it cost?
No, I mean, like, how
I
valuable
feel like
to
I'm on the
you?
Price is Right.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to go over?
Yeah. Without going over, to just have something that you can have multiple different options in one space and also go through it efficiently.
I think you thought the space through from the start. We had this conversation many times over. Stuff like this it's the little big things that make the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're burying the lead using this as your in when you have that white room downstairs.
Yes, that is. We
That's-
also promote that when we are filming there. But today we are upstairs and we are filming with the backdrops. So we're shouting out the backdrops,
So if I'm ever brought back on here,
which you will be.
we should film downstairs so
We
I
will.
look like I'm floating on a cloud.
We will.
We can do that.
We're going to put
Yeah.
you on a cloud.
Yeah.
Yes. We're
I'll
going
wear all white like Gandalf.
to. Perfect. Perfect. We're going to get a white couch. We're all going to show up in white suits. People are just going to see our faces.
I'm going to order Italian for
Yeah.
lunch.
What Italian?
I'm going to order Mexican the night before, so
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Good job. One up. No, the downstairs is really cool. I want to use it. I'm excited to someday be able to
Oh yeah.
artistically play around in that room.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how yet.
Well, you are an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself an artist?
No.
No. Why is that?
I think I consider myself a creator. I think an artist is somebody who I think focuses on particular forms of expression as a way to get a point across. I focus on a particular canvas as a way to incite a particular feeling in the person I'm working on. I'm not doing your hair so that everybody who sees your hair thinks you look amazing. I know that sounds weird,
Well, you should be.
but I don't care about it. I do it so that when you look in the mirror, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
I've seen many a people with really bad haircuts that feel really confident in their haircut, and they just look fantastic.
Yeah.
You're sitting there going like, if I were to take your haircut off of you and put it on a mannequin and I were to showcase all the places this was wrong, I could, oof.
Yeah.
But your confidence sells it. Some of the outfits that you see people wear walking down the street, it's like, how in the world do you have like a swagger in your walk right now?
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference, is like art is meant to be perceived by a large group of people to create a sensation, whereas what I do is meant to be perceived for just one person. And if it happens to affect other people, great. Not to create such a difference, but it's like, think of music, right? Mm-hmm. If I were to make a song, I'm not writing that song for me. Like, I already know how I feel. I've already felt that feeling. I'm trying to get you to relate to me, so I am now telling you something through song. It's not the same thing with hair. You come and sit down in my chair and you tell me what you're trying to say, and then I create that on you. So it's like the polar opposite, really, as weird as that sounds.
No, that makes sense. It does.
There's a
And-
lot of stylists out there that are going to be like, we are artists. And it's like, yes, you are. You are artists. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's okay.
I don't consider myself one.
Yeah.
I consider myself
You're
a
not speaking
creative.
for all stylists.
No.
You're speaking for yourself.
Right.
Okay. Just to make that clear. So
Because there are a
people don't
lot of stylists out there that what they do is art. You know,
Yeah.
your people who work in fashion magazines or who work with models who are on the cutting edge of fashion and are creating what we see in imagery and who are responsible for what we see in movies or responsible for what we see in music videos. Like, yes, that's art. You are creating something not for the person who you're working on. You're creating it for the people who are viewing the final result.
Yeah. No,
That was... I needed a break. I'm like, oh my God.
No, I think that's great because, I mean, again, I can say most of the time when I go in there, one of the first things that Patrick does is he asks me like, where am I going? What am I doing? What is this for?
Well, do you think you're an artist?
Well, by your definition,
No,
I-
by your definition, like, would you consider yourself an artist?
that's a good question. I would say that I think that a lot of stuff that we create is art. And we create a lot of stuff for the masses. They're technically for individuals, but the way that we see it is, you know, our art form we're utilizing because it's kind of a mix. It's like a hybrid between that and a creator, right? And a
Right.
creative where we are creating this type of art, but it is for the person. Like, let's say music. We'll go back to that because you talked about it. We are there to bring this person's song to life through something that they made. It's their baby. It's their child, right? So if we're making a music video or something, we are bringing that to life, but we are helping other people relate to their music. So it's like we're creating art to influence them in some way so that they resonate with their music or, you know,
See, the more I think about it, I would say you're more of an artist than I am. Because even when I think about it, you're taking something and you're doing something original. The first braid was like 8,000 years ago. There is not a color, there's not a hairstyle, there's not a cut, there's nothing that has been done that has not already been done before. I'm just regurgitating. If you would consider, oh my God, what is his name? He took art and he would mess it all up and put it on clothes and stuff.
No, that's not him, right? Basquiat? I forget the artist's name.
If you...
Monet.
Yes.
Yeah. Used
Yes.
to put it on hoodies.
Yes.
If you were to say, like, actually do something new, I might be able to say you're an artist. People who do giant hair pieces and they, you know, take industrial pipes and weave it into the hair. Yeah, that's art. Like, you're an artist. Cool.
Yeah.
But what I do is regurgitation in a lot of ways. Somebody comes in, they have a picture, I recreate the picture.
Interesting.
Is if I go and I get a paint by numbers of a Monet and I go and I paint it beautifully, am I an artist?
It's interesting. I feel like this is a very unique take on art.
Because I think that we talked about it at the beginning. Hairstylists, our job is not what it appears. We're one of the few. It's kind of like a game of smoke and mirrors. You don't go to the hair salon for really good hair. It's great when you get really good hair, but most of the people don't really love the hair they have when they're walking out of a hair salon anyway. They keep going back to the same person because it's the vibe.
Yeah.
It's the person, it's the space, it's the community, it's the people who are there when you're there, it's the way that it feels to walk through the door, it's the drive on the way there and the drive on the way home. It's all of it combined up. But really, the end result is a lot more affected by the entire experience than by the actual end result. It's all very convoluted. And this is why it's a love-hate for me. Some days I wake up and I have such clarity about our industry and exactly where I'd like to see hairstylists go, where I'd like to see makeup artists go, estheticians, massage therapists, chiropractors, Reiki practitioners. Like, we all do the same thing. I'd love to see all of us kind of raising the bar a little bit and being a little bit more artistic and thinking outside the box and actually kind of tapping into that true creativity rather than constantly regurgitating what another creator has already done. So yeah, no. I think that there are very few artists in my industry.
Can you name one that you like?
Ben Mullen.
Who is it?
Ben Mullen. He is I don't remember anymore, but there was a TV show called Sheer Genius, and he was on it with Tabitha Coffey. And I can't remember if he beat her and then lost or if she just kicked the crap out of him. But he is a very influential artist in my life. When I was in the formative years of styling, he kind of came in and taught me a lot about mindset and taught me a lot about moral and ethical business and what it means to live in integrity in a materialistic industry. And there are artists that are not hairstylists that I'm really inspired by. I think Tom Brown is one of the best fashion designers on the planet. I've been following him for years. And in fact, it was Ben Mullen who told me to follow him.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that the beauty industry is a space of inspiration for me right now. Like I said, it's full of regurgitation. It's a lot of redoing the same thing over and over again, or doing things for shock value for no reason. That really bugs me. I can't stand it. So it's tough. I get my inspiration through outside sources. It's kind of one of those things. I think it was Alix Maya, she's another famous hairstylist, said something like, if you have hairstylists in your salon that you are responsible for, stop sending them to hair shows. Stop sending them to classes about hair. Ask them what they're interested in, and send them to a photography class. Let them take a psych class. Let them learn from a chemist. Let them kind of branch outside the box. So I kind of took that and ran with it because I was in a space where I was feeling really lost. And I found a lot of my inspiration all over the map. Abraham Hicks was a huge one. In fact, I think my diet played a big role in that as well.
Okay.
I had started a health journey around the same time that I started hair. I went vegetarian while I was in hair school. And it was learning how to be a vegetarian, learning how to cook and live in a vegetarian world, how to make better choices about product being purchased and the distribution lines and all that kind of stuff. It kind of all sparked at once. But hair was just the place that it could all marinate together in a way that I didn't have to worry that things in my life were spilling in ways that I couldn't control. You can talk about diet in a hair salon. You can talk to women about their weight in a hair salon. Women will talk about those kinds of things, probably more so than with a doctor or with their, gym coach. They'll talk about how the frustrations of not being able to lose those couple of extra pounds. And it was really interesting. I would have people who was, say, an OB who was working in a prominent hospital in Boston, who was sitting next to a woman who was talking about the fact that she couldn't lose weight. And the doctor looked over and she goes, well, have you had your thyroid tested? And suddenly there's a conversation that's happening that this woman went and had her thyroid tested, and it turned out that she was hypothyroid, and that was the reason why it was so hard for her to lose weight. And she was able to make lifestyle changes that she wouldn't have known she needed to make if she hadn't just crossed paths with this random woman.
Yeah.
For me, it's hands-off approach. Just let it happen, be the facilitator, create the space, allow it to fill, because the universe hates a vacuum. And then while it's full, just tend the garden and make sure that the people who are in there are feeling like they're cared for and they're seen and they matter. And it kind of just does itself after that. I don't really have to work at my business. I don't market. I mean,
Yep.
I have not posted on social media in over a year.
Yeah, and I think one of the last things that you posted, I filmed for you on your phone.
Yes, and before that, the last thing that I posted literally was, Mike told me I needed to post so you all knew that I was alive. I just don't. And it's not that I don't think anybody needs to. If you're a business owner and you've been told you need to be marketing on social media, you've been lied to. Social media has only existed for about a decade. We've got businesses that are hundreds of years old all over the state. Like, you do not, does it help growing a new business? Absolutely. But is it the only way to grow a business? No. Is it the best way? No. So it's like, I go against the grain a lot. I don't mean to, but I don't see a point in doing something that I know there is a more integral way for. I'm moving into, I was afraid I was going to talk about this at some point today because I know I was moving into beauty standards at some point because it's like a big passion point for me, but this is where it goes. It's like, I don't post on socials because I don't want a 14-year-old who's following me to look at hair that I've done on a girl who has completely different color, texture, type, curl pattern, all of it, and think, oh, this is what beautiful is, and then be upset with themselves because it's not an achievable thing for them. I think about those kinds of things, and I don't understand why most of the stylists in our country don't. I cannot tell you how many people in our industry I hear complain about having to do the same thing over and over again. I'm sick of just doing balayages all day long. I'm sick of doing just, blonde all day long. And it's like, why aren't you standing up and saying I shouldn't be doing this all day long anyway? Like, you're not meant to be blonde. You're not. Your eye color, your skin tone, they denote that you're not meant for it. You look great in lighter tones. We can do whatever you want, but let's have a conversation about a realistic beauty standard for you. It doesn't happen. And because of that, I get paralysis because I don't know what the new trend is going to be 2 years from now. What if I post something and 2 years from now, I'm canceled and I don't know why? That kind of stuff happens all the time. It's a really cutthroat industry in a lot of ways. There's a lot of different forms of information out there. Scientists can never agree in our industry on the best way to do things. That's a really bad one. We get a lot of different education and information. So you'll have one color company tell you this is how you do color, and another color company will come in and they'll tell you the polar opposite. One color company will tell you to use 25% of a particular color in a formula, and then the other one will tell you don't do that at all or you'll brown out. One lightener company is 1-to-1, one lightener company is 1 to 1.5, one lightener company is 1 to 2 mixing ratios. And it's all because scientists don't agree. You have your surfactant scientist that cares most about color longevity and pH balance. You have your resins chemist that knows that if something's not working as a polymer or softener or preservative, that the whole thing's gone to pot. You have your surfactants chemist. I just said your persulfate chemist that's saying, oh my God, the worst thing that you can do is use a really high pH shampoo on freshly bleached hair. And there's just so many different things to say. So there's a lot of problems. I'm the kind of person that likes to fix everything. Sometimes I get overwhelmed. I want to fix the whole industry. I think a lot of stylists feel that way. A lot of people feel like they don't know how. It's not even really where I want to be focused. It's where I fell into. I have no idea why I do what I do.
That's good.
But I love it.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing.
As long as you love it, though.
I could do anything. It's not about, it's about the impact that I'm having.
Yeah.
If I was a therapist, it'd be the same thing. If I was a life coach, it'd be the same thing. If I was a massage, it all comes down to just the fact that I feel like what gives me a sense of peace and accomplishment and excitement is that I've come into your world and I've created improvement. I am not so much production focused as I am quality focused. How have I improved the quality of your life? Not how can I touch as many people as possible? How can I reach as many people as possible?
Yeah. Makes sense. Either or.
Going back to getting canceled.
Yeah, go back to
Right? Might as well just talk about J.K. Rowling now.
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
Mike.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What about her? I don't know.
Yeah, who? No.
Exactly.
Oh man, we won't make you do that. Yeah. No, I think you just dropped a lot. A lot on
I do.
us.
I go hard.
Yeah, you do. Sorry.
I don't mean to.
Yeah, you do. All right, that might be cut. Who knows? Maybe I'll keep it.
Keep it in.
just for Gerry.
Keep it in just for me.
Yeah, Gerry, you've never dealt with it before.
Dealt with what?
Me.
Going hard? I have.
Not
On a
really.
very light
Yeah,
scale.
not really. You've never
Yeah,
like had a real
but-
session where I've sat
Yeah.
there and talked about your life and your problems and
That-
figured out what's not working.
That is very true.
We should do that soon.
Yeah.
Just right now.
My
Just go ahead
barber
right
is
now.
right outside my door. Literally, like I walk outside my front door and then his business is right there. However, I'd be open to having you.
Yeah,
touch
you know,
on
my
it.
menu isn't just hair.
I know.
You could just come in for, I mean, you should just come in.
Do it. Be in Patrick's chair. Experience.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like I have to because it seems like such a profound experience.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm going to toot my horn. It can be. Like, people come in feeling all types of ways and they really walk out with clarity. And that's my bit.
I feel like I don't have enough hair to touch on everything that I would need to touch on with.
I don't.
You would need hair to your
How
ankles.
many times do I stop working to talk?
Yeah, many.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The reason why my haircuts take so long, I mean, I could literally do a 20-minute haircut. It's fine. I'm
Yeah.
fast.
That's
The
why
reason-
usually I have to block out like an hour and a half if I'm gonna go get a haircut.
No, he blocks out an hour and a half because he shows up a half hour late.
That
What?
is
That's not like him at
We
all.
both, you know.
Not
So
at.
I am always never
Oh.
ready, so it doesn't matter.
that's what we've had because I try to. Okay, so here's the thing. We were talking about this the other day. At least for this situation, I always try to like squeeze a session in. Like I always try to squeeze a haircut in or something, or add it into an already chaotic day.
Hey, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Because like I'll forget, and then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. Can I try to get in there today?" But then I'll have like 17 things going on. Like I was supposed to.
You should just share the Google Calendar with Patrick.
I should.
Actually, you should.
Oh my God, no,
That
yours.
would make my life a lot easier.
I don't think it would. I think.
Hey, Mike, it says that you're leaving tomorrow for a week and a half. I haven't seen you in a week and a half.
No,
I
that would
think you
be
need a
really, really helpful for me.
I'll share all of my calendars with you, and then you'll just have a headache. Yeah.
I just need your travel calendar.
Well,
I just need the travel calendar.
all right.
When you're in Florida, when you're not, when you're going on vacation, when you're not,
Yeah.
when you're surprising Kim, when you're not.
Yeah. True. When I'm gonna, be on a podcast.
On If I Were to Have a Podcast, what would be the number one guest
Next to you.
for each of you? Well, I would want them next to me once you say it, but don't make it based on me because then it'd have to be Brittany. I'd kill you both.
Because you're gonna want me to say Channing Tatum. And
I'm going
that's
to
not-
say
No,
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake.
We can have him on here, but he needs a disclaimer that I'm gonna be brutal.
Yes. I'll let Gerry go first because he
Oh
he
no,
thinks
I
about
was
this a lot.
I was gonna say you should probably go first because I know that you have so many names up there that you just want to drop right now.
So
I got one.
I might go ahead.
Ari Aster. I would like to have him on the podcast.
You know who he is.
Hereditary, Midsummer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dan
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
I need to see what makes him tick, what's behind that brain, because I feel like we have a lot of similarities. He is what goes on up here sometimes, like throughout his, like Hereditary, probably one of my favorite, not just horror movies to come out in the past decade, but movie to come out in the past decade. And I feel like it kind of spoke to my soul because that's what up here I think horror should be. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of just like cut and paste horror out there right now, and he reinvigorated the horror market.
And Jerry's picky as shit.
I am very picky as shit.
He's picky as shit.
I need something.
You're right. I can't watch his stuff very easily. I have to either watch it in small doses or be really distracting myself with multiple things going on while it's on. It's one of those. And I'm not a jump scare kind of person. Like those don't really get to me. He really gets your psyche.
Yeah.
And he's good with music too.
Yes.
Really, really good with tone. He can make me feel something when nothing's going on. It's really hard to create suspense when there's nothing happening. He does a really good job with that.
Yes, he does. So yeah, we're gonna get him on the podcast.
That's a good one. That's a really, really good one. I would love to have him on as well. Because it's funny, because my mind went to movies, and I was like, what director would I want to have on? And then you said Ari Aster, and I was like, no, that would be big. But
Ari Aster, come on down.
yeah.
I'm surprised you'd want a director.
Well, no, it's funny because that's where my mind went first. But if I'm being honest, because when am I not? A big one that I would love to have on, and I feel like a lot of people won't, unless you've been following him for so long and actually been invested in his progression and journey of a human and art and music, it wouldn't, I don't think people would really get it, because some people only know him for his big hits, and they don't really they haven't followed his story. But is Mike Posner. I would fucking love to have Mike Posner on here.
Got my friend, the sunglasses song.
That's what I mean. That's how people know him. Yeah, like Cooler Than Me and all that stuff
Yeah.
back in the day, or even, I Took a Pill in Ibiza, one of his newer hits. But like, he has had such an incredible journey. Like, did you know that he walked across the United States? Or that he
No.
climbed Mount Everest?
No.
Or that he did all these things?
No.
Yeah. That's what I mean, because as
That's
he
really
went
cool.
as he went through finding himself, and especially at a time after he was very close with his father, and he lost his father, and it was something that he also used as kind of this coping thing. And I've just been following him so long and so closely, and like even a side project that he started. It's not even a side project; it's an entity that he started with the artist Black Bear. He called Mansions. And that solo piece, they put out a record like 5 years ago or something. And that alone, as its own entity between the two artists that came together, was just such like a beautiful thing. And then they just made it and then left it. So I was talking about them, and I was so pissed. And I was like, are there any other big artists like that, where there are two known artists that have come together to like create some sort of like group or entity, but they have successful careers, came and did that is not related to them, and then they just like left, but that it was really successful and it wasn't just like a side thing. I would love to talk with him, because the other thing, and I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't want
Well, we want to wait till he's here.
Well, yes. And I also don't want to bring too much light to a video that I made forever ago that
you should.
No, I don't want to,
We're
because
gonna roll the
Shameless
clip
plug.
here. It's right here.
No. It was at a different time, but it was a video that I made for one of his songs that wasn't super popular on his first album, the one that was Cooler Than Me, on that album. And it was a video that I made for school, and it was around the time when I was going through something with like an ex who cheated on me and whatever.
Oh my God,
And
it's an angst video.
It was angst, but it made sense for the song, and the song itself did not have a music
Did
video
you post
to
it on your Vine?
No, I didn't have a Vine, because if I had a Vine, then we would all be living in mansions right now, because we would have been famous as fuck. And but the video that I made was for a school project, and the professor was like, "Don't make a music video. The assignment is to make a moving like video to music." So like we had to take clips and edit to music for like musicality and that type of stuff. So he's like, "Don't make a music video though. Like just make this so you can get the pacing of editing."
Make a montage.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, fuck that. I'm making a music video. I'm feeling hurt right now. So I made this, and I included this person's name in it because
Oh, no.
it made sense for the song.
No, it's because it was years ago and we didn't have social rules
Yes.
yet online.
And it wasn't that. So anyways, so I made it, I presented it to class, and then after it played, the teacher was
Oh
like,
my God, the whole class saw this.
yeah, and then the teacher was
Were
like,
you dating this person in the same school?
No. And but yeah, so when they saw it, and then my teacher just turned to me, he goes, "Are you okay? Who hurt you?" He was like, "You're all right?" And then I was like, he's like, "I said no music videos, but I'll let it pass." And I was like, "Cool, thanks." And anyways, I wasn't going to post it anywhere. And then I found out that, very soon after I went online, I went to go block the person so that they wouldn't see anything. And I was like, I'm going to go on and make sure that like their friends and family don't see anything because I don't want to start drama. And then I saw that the person that they cheated on me with, they were in a relationship with. And this was like 2 weeks after it happened. And me in a very vulnerable state, I was like, fuck it. And then I just posted it online. And then it caused a bunch of shit. I got a bunch of death threats, but it ended up going kind of viral because it was the only music video for this song. He didn't have a music video. So it just kind of really went out there. And it was one of the songs that put me on the map in my school that people ended up like paying attention to because they were like, one, remind us never to fuck with him. Two, this isn't bad.
You're like the Taylor Swift of producers.
Yeah, so it was, but I'll put it this way. I was a very different person then. And that's why, like, I don't want to say the name of the song. I don't want to say anything like that. I don't want to bring light to it. If I honestly could, but I don't have the password anymore, I would hide this. I would hide it. Like, I wouldn't want it out there because I hate that her name's attached to it. And, like, it is what it is. Like, they did what they did, and it's okay. I'm an adult. And I'm married, and I don't care about that. And
Well, I think you should get your apology video going now because this is bound to be found. So right into that camera, go ahead and apologize.
so, listen.
Don't apologize.
Yeah, no.
What's
No,
done is
no,
done.
what I was going to say is that for the time, it happened, and I did what I did, and I can't go back. But it was, it was okay.
There is a video of me drunkenly falling out of a hot tub that ended on the Tosh.0 wall at some point. So don't worry. I'm going down with you now. I just told the world.
I'm going to go find that.
Were you clothed?
Yes.
Oh, that's no fun.
I'm not going to go find that.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, Mike Posner. So that's so since then he's always played some weird role even in my like life because that was a video that again put me on the map in a way. So I've always felt super connected to him, and we used to look kind of similar back in the day when I had the shaved head and the glasses and all that stuff back in his Cooler Than Me era. So I used to get Mike Posner a lot, but it was that's who I would have on. There's a very long answer to your question. But
Did you ever get any celebrity lookalikes?
Me personally?
Yeah.
When I had hair and when I was younger, I got Jack Black in high school. Also, when I had hair, I got a little bit of Seth Rogen as well.
Jack Black was a compliment.
Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. And Liev Schreiber.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
you've gotten him?
Yeah, for myself. I wake up and tell myself that.
Yeah,
Every
I
single day.
see it.
I do see a little bit of it, though.
Yeah.
I do. I
Ray
see
Donovan.
it.
Ray
I see it.
Donovan. Yeah.
I got Adam Lambert, so
I could see that. Yeah.
not anymore. When I was younger, it was bad.
Yeah.
I had the emo bang from Fall Out Boy, and I was wearing guy liner because it was the early 2000s. I mean, I looked like Adam Lambert.
This was 2 years ago. Yeah, this was early 2020s.
No. It's brown now when I use a liner.
Ah,
It's
gotcha.
natural.
Natural, yes.
The Kardashians really made a difference.
They did in all of our lives. I wouldn't be anywhere without them.
Right.
Yeah, same with Gerry. Yeah, they're on his mood board.
Especially Ray J.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What's up?
So
Okay, go ahead.
I loved Adriana Bylon when she was in it. She's Cheetah Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
She was dating
why does that
Rob.
sound familiar? Yeah.
She's dating Rob for a long time. That was my favorite because it was like reliving
That's
my
right
childhood.
too. Yep.
I was always ready at any point watching the Kardashians that they were just going to start like a dance montage and that she was going to do all these little like Cheetah Girl runs. I was ready for it. Every episode I was
Were
ready
you dressed
for
up like one of the Cheetah Girls just in preparation?
it. I dress like one of the Cheetah Girls on a regular basis.
That's true. I was very disappointed that you weren't more Cheetah when you came
I
in.
walk around. If someone is wearing cheetah print
Yeah.
as I walk by them, and it is every single I don't miss a beat. If you are wearing it, you're going to get me saying it. I walk by and I'm like, we're cheetah girls, cheetah sisters. Every human. Malls, doctor's offices, the beach. I've chased people down to be like, I love your outfit. We're cheetah girls.
Now, have you ever run into someone that has no idea what the fuck you're talking about and they just think you're crazy?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
They go with it. Who wouldn't go with it? A gay man is running up to them very excitedly, smiling and laughing and telling them they love their outfit. There is not a person on the planet that doesn't respond well to that.
I've never had that happen to me before.
Jerry.
He's usually the one running up to people.
We'll go to Primark.
Okay.
We'll take a little shopping trip together.
3 sluts.
It's
That
work
would
out-
be. That would be.
I would love to
I would
see.
I would actually do that. I think I'd actually do that. I would have him style me. That would be.
Oh,
that would
that'd be great.
beautiful.
It'd be
That'd
fun.
be great. What we should do is we should have you take him, style him. We'll get a couple clips like on our phones or something. We'll come here. We'll have another episode of the podcast, and then he'll come out and then show whatever you styled him in.
It's not a bad idea. I like that.
I like that too. And I wouldn't bring you where you think I'd bring you. I'm not going to like gentrify you.
Okay.
That would be.
No, it's still he still has to be Gerry. It just
I
needs
do.
to be like
Yes.
Gerry
Needs
polished.
to be black.
Yes.
Blackjack. Jack Black. There we go. Or leave. Yes. I'm excited for this.
Same.
Excited for this.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do the same for him. and
I
you're
will.
No,
I
absolutely
will
not.
pick out
Yeah,
your wardrobe.
absolutely
Yes,
Absolutely
I will.
not.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
There's
Very
nothing. You
classy.
literally.
I am a look
I did
now.
not
You
start
go outside.
this.
There are so many bald men with beards and flannel drinking IPAs.
Welcome
Yeah.
to
I
America.
Right next door. Yeah.
was at the forefront of that.
He was drinking before he was allowed to.
I was.
We do not condone that.
Do you know?
I did.
I'm not so sure that I would make a lot of changes.
That is such a
That
compliment.
is a
But-
huge compliment.
Thank you.
You probably could pull off some brighter color, even if it was still. Now, I hate that. I honestly, it's like one of my least favorite types of shirt. But if it were in a different color,
Like red?
not for your coloring.
No, I like my red flannel.
So does it have black on it?
Yes.
That's why you like it, because the depth of the black ties it in. You have deep
Yellow.
colored eyes. Gerry, we need to talk about the color wheel,
Okay.
friend.
Yes.
Okay.
yes. Something I should know.
Right?
As a
Like
photographer.
You know this.
you would do really well in earth tones.
Mm-hmm.
You would do really well in pastels.
Okay.
You do really well in gray tones.
Okay.
You do not do well in yellows.
Okay.
I do not want to see you in vibrant electric green.
Okay.
That would be terrible.
No.
Here goes your Halloween costume.
It's more my yellow flannel is kind of like that yellow. My
mustardy.
my
But
people are
see-
gonna think all I do is wear flannel. Sorry, go on.
It's that because it's flannel, it has multiple tones in it.
Yes.
So it's playing differently than if it were a solid. Can you pull off a red flannel? Yeah. What American does not look good in a red flannel, jeans, and boots?
It's a good point.
You're like the brawny man.
I am. That's another one that I used to get.
That one I really see.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yes. I don't own any other red shirts aside from that red flannel.
I honestly don't know if you have a very extensive closet.
It's mostly black T-shirts because of production blacks.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised when we do travel to tropical regions. I do have a lot of Hawaiian shirts now.
Yes.
I have built up the repertoire of Hawaiian shirts.
So whenever we go down to Florida, he has his Florida man shirts.
Yes.
Gerry.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those hats? Brim hats.
He needs
that
one.
is definitely.
You need one next time.
something
You
that I
also
to
need a
buy.
fanny pack. Now we're talking about a Halloween costume.
Yes.
No, that's just
Or
his normal
my-
Florida wear.
Yeah.
And the other thing though is that he'll wear ones with like pineapples, and then
Yeah.
people just think that both of us are swingers.
Yeah.
Because they already think we're a couple.
What colors should I have?
Pineapples
Pineapples.
mean that you're a swinger?
Yeah.
Whoa! Welcome to the party, Patrick.
I didn't know that. I thought that it was like purple door.
I mean that too. I think it's a few things, and also like which direction your rocking chair is on the front porch or something. I don't know. They get creative, but yeah, pineapples.
Could you imagine being part of that newsletter? This month we've changed the code. Someone figured out that it was a pineapple shirt that got you in, so
We're doing rocking chairs next month.
we're just gonna alter them slightly. They need to face the sunset.
They face northeast, and yeah, no, that's a thing. And for pineapples, it's something where it's like, you know, the direction of the pineapple, the color of the pineapple. It stands for all the different levels of like swinger
There's
that you are.
levels of swinger.
There's different types. Yeah,
There's different types of swingers.
yeah. There's ones
So it's
where
not just like we're sharing. It's like
No.
different ways to
like
share.
some it's like you can share yours, or they can share theirs, or like you're okay with like maybe you're not involved but you like to watch.
you
like
watch
I'll share mine
Or-
from the top up.
I don't know if there's like tops and bottoms. Well, there's definitely
There's
tops and bottoms.
definitely tops and bottoms.
But I think, like if it's going to be like a straight swing, right, where it's like, like if a straight couple and a straight couple are trading like their partners in
No,
the sense
that
of
there's very many straight swings.
well, no, in the sense of like, okay, like the let's say the wife is going with their husband and their wife is
Wife
with
swap.
this husband, like a wife swap thing. There's all different ones, or like if it's just a smorgasbord of like, everything
Do
flailing
I get
around.
to redesign the kitchen?
I think so. Yeah.
What color pineapple is that?
Turquoise. Okay. First of all, I want to make this clear. I don't know why I know so much about this. I am not within the
I'm
community.
really surprised.
I have no shade to that community. I just find it fascinating, and I ended up on that side of like TikTok, Instagram, and also just talking with people that happen to
Your
know more than me.
algorithm.
My
thought you
algorithm
were a
is
swinger.
my algorithm is fucked. My algorithm is so confused on who I am that it makes me confused on who I am.
Honestly, I get there too. Sometimes I end up places and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro shows up. What did I do for this?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
It's like,
That's
is
not
this
your-
pro or against Ben Shapiro? I don't know what this ad is.
that new Bobby
Yeah.
girl. with
Yeah,
the flat
Bob- yep.
affect.
Yep, yep.
I don't know how my what, you thought I would like this. Not in a bad way, but just like, come on. Where's my Red Panda videos?
Yeah.
Where's my Britney dancing knives? I'm sorry, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
liking all of the parody videos where they're taking Britney and interposing her in places. It's really good. It's fun.
Oh.
She's perfect.
Is she? Why do you love Britney so much? Why? Okay, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm
You're
going to
gonna
be very
ask me
blunt
this
with
very
you.
seriously. Like I'm being interviewed.
I'm going to ask you this very seriously. From your perspective, why do gays love Britney?
That's the thing.
No, the reason why I'm saying this for anybody listening or watching is because Patrick has said this to me. He said that the gays love Britney, so I am reciting this back
Gays
to
love
him.
divas. I can't say every single gay loves Britney,
You're not speaking for all gays, got it.
but I will say that most gays, at one point or another, obsessed over her to a point where I think every single one of us knows the Slave for You dance.
Can you recite it for us right now?
No,
Why?
I don't have a boa constrictor.
Well, we have one downstairs.
Bring him in!
I mean, if you had a real boa constrictor, I might be inclined.
He can dress up as a snake.
No.
Flipper snake.
I hate you both so much. Why do I love Britney so? Why do gays? Oh, geez.
I
Britney.
definitely did when I was 16.
What was that like?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
a
no,
music.
I did too.
Yeah.
It was not. Yeah, it was
It's
more
not
of a.
this-
It was more of a sexual.
Well, to be
attraction.
fair, I don't think not in a bad way, but I don't think that when people idolize a pop artist, they really ever idolize their music. I think Taylor Swift is kind of a phenomenon because that's
I was going to say Taylor Swift.
the
yeah.
exception to the rule. People love her music, but I think that's kind of rare. I think there's a lot of people who love Britney because of her energy. She is a very light feel most of the time. Even when she's kind of going a little crazy, it's not like you're watching a Ryan Murphy show where it's like hard to look away from the crazy and you're like, oh my God, this hurts so much. But like when I think I was 11 years old. I was either 10 or 11 years old when she really got big. And there was Christina, there was Pink, there was Avril Lavigne. It was the era of the female solo pop artist. There was Kelly Clarkson. And yeah, you had like Destiny's Child, but even so, like look at Beyonce as a solo career. It has been solo female dominated in the pop era for a really long time. And for anybody who felt outcasted, it didn't necessarily have to be gay. But for anybody who felt outcasted, it was kind of interesting to see because when she first came out, she wasn't blonde. She wasn't a sex symbol. Yeah, she did the cute little midriff showing in that first video, and she like created a sex appeal for herself. And she did that, which is kind of what, and I knew that too. everything about her career has always been very public. So from the start, we've been able to see her go against the grain, make decisions that go against major studios, kind of try to take control of her career and her trajectory in her life. And I think that that's something that we all on a subconscious level really need to see and gravitate towards. She represents everything about a patriarchal society. But before we all realized what was going on, she was still kind of doing that. She was this woman scorned who'd been kind of ostracized from society and still just kept going. And so it was like she has a lot of perseverance. She was really young when she hit. Everything she's ever done has been in the public eye. Every decision she's ever made has been scrutinized. And every single time people come for her, she kind of just looks around and goes like, no, I'm just going to do me. I just want to take care of myself. And I think that's really powerful. Her being able to say it to her family, her being able to say it to her fans. Like, these are things that most people can't do. Most people can't do them. And here she's dealing with it on a mass level. Like, there are people who can't just say no to their family, and the only person that's going to be affected by it is their family. She's saying no to family, and 15 million people are involved. That's wild. So there's a lot of reasons why I think all along people have just kind of looked at her and found a way to respect her. Are there a lot of haters? Yeah. Was it orchestrated? Yeah. It's really interesting to me how social mindset works. I think she is a fascinating subject to study, because you look at how many times society flip-flops with her. 1 month they hate her, 1 month they love her. 1 month she's psycho, 1 month she's just trying to be free. 1 month she isn't capable of being a good mother. 1 month, how dare you take her kids away from her. 1 month she should be medicated. 1 month, how dare you medicate her against her will. There's just such a back and forth with her. And so it's like, it would be really fascinating for me to have somebody who studied pop culture sit in a chair like this and talk about just Britney. That could be a whole podcast episode just by itself, to go through how she affected the psyche of girls in both positive and negative ways, the way that she sold herself, the way that she marketed herself, all of those different things. I think she's a genius. And I think I love her just because I relate to the struggle in her life. And so for me, it's like, here is this person who, against all odds, not only made it, but kept it. Making it's not that hard anymore, is it? There's a lot of people in the world who all of a sudden have their 15 minutes of fame, even if they don't have anything to be famous for. It's like, there are a lot of ways to get notoriety.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of people who can keep it. Not a lot of people, once they're at the top, stay at the top.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing. So, yeah. But why the gays love her, I think, is because she's a really, really fantastic dancer performer. And she's really good with escapism. She's really good with escapism.
Yeah.
We thought she was a spy.
What?
Toxic, right? You guys have never seen the Toxic music video?
I have seen the Toxic video.
She's a spy.
Yeah.
She's been a flight attendant. She's been a spy. She's Barbie, right? It's literally like she's been everything.
I feel like it's between. I love that you went with Barbie and not something like Johnny Sins. Have you seen those jokes online?
No.
Okay, great. Nobody's gonna.
I have no idea what you mean.
Do you really have no idea what I mean?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
We all have different algorithms.
No. This wasn't. This was from interviews of like
I would never see them on social.
corn stars
Corn? Like
The band?
Corn, Limp Bizkit.
of me.
That time period.
Yeah.
What makes you think that I would have ever listened to Corn?
Anyways,
I'm wearing a shawl.
I'm 100% cutting this out because nobody needs to hear me talk about Johnny Sins, because I didn't know who he was, and then he kept popping up when people would talk about him. The joke is that he's someone who just has a lot of different careers because he's one of the top male performing porn stars. So that's when you were like, oh, she's can be anything, and it's like, oh, Barbie is everyone. And then I was like, that was the joke, was that you went with Barbie instead of going with like a male porn star.
I'm sure I've seen his work.
You probably have. But anyways, that's all. That's
See
all.
the one that looks like me? The bald guy?
He is bald, yeah. and
The
just
bald-
jacked.
the big jacked guy.
Yeah.
He's bald. He has a kind of a smaller goatee.
You have a lot of really weird topics of knowledge. Swingers, male porn stars.
Social media. That was, again, my algorithm is
Again,
fucked.
we have very different algorithms.
No, but we also have very similar ones. I will get stuff from all sides and everything across the board. I'll get ones where like that are very for gays. I get ones that are for moms. I
I'll
get
tell
ones
you the
that
one
are
that
for
we
very
always-
straight men.
I can't believe how often I go onto Insta and I go to click the like button on this particular person and you've liked it or you've commented. It's almost every single time I like or comment this person. You like or comment this person.
Who is it?
Marianne Williamson.
Oh yeah, I love her. Yeah.
It's kind of it's one of those very interesting things. I have a lot of really obscure things. I follow Middle East Matters, like a lot of Politico stuff that you see a lot of really graphic content and a lot of like the truth of what's going on in the world. And whenever I see, all of a sudden I'll just see Keslak or 41st Casanova, and it's just like a little like, and it's, I think you followed them because of me. Like I want to call you and be like, why are you copying me? I know you didn't just stumble upon this. I found this because I follow, okay, I'm going to tell you guys something really cool. I follow Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
If you go on her Instagram, she follows, I think it was 6 when I looked. She follows like no one. It's like 6 or 12 or some exorbitantly low number. And if you look at who she follows, it's all nonprofit organizations, it's all philanthropist organizations, it's all community outreach organizations throughout the Middle East, through Uganda and North Africa and all these. So one day I was sick of I read an article that said that they actually manipulate the algorithm in the United States so that we see more trash and less upliftment and less political news and less things that are inspiring, less women that are doing inspiring things, and more teens and kids that are partying, that kind of stuff. They like intentionally manipulate the algorithm so that we see more of this.
Yeah.
And so I said, fuck this, like I'm going to do something about it. So I went on and I started just unfollowing all of these accounts that were just nothing helpful to me. And I went to Angelina Jolie's because it was one of those ones that I was clicking on celebrities and seeing, what are you following? Are you somebody as a celebrity that's in alignment with my morals and ethics? And when I clicked on Angelina's, it was kind of like a light bulb, because I went, oh, there are really prolific artists and influencers out there that do use their voice for social impact, and she is one of them. So if you're ever interested in changing your algorithm so you stop learning about swingers and porn stars, follow
Gerry.
Angelina Jolie.
Follow it. All right. Let everybody take that as a note for everybody that's experiencing the same thing. Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I want to make it clear. It's not all just that. Okay.
But it's mostly
Well, it's
that.
also
No.
Marianne Williamson.
Marianne
Because you need the liberal vote in order to be able to live the lifestyle you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again,
The
it's
algorithm
so,
knows you better than you do, so the fact that it's showing you a lot of these things
Why is
is
it
a conversation that you need to have with yourself, Michael.
Why is it showing me mom content? Okay. No, I mean like mother
Mike.
content, not your type of mom content.
What do you mean by mother content?
Like specifically for moms, like of kids and stuff. Like if I was a mom, I would be receiving that.
You are a 30-something-year-old white man
But it's not geared towards
who
dads.
just got married.
It's not geared towards dads.
The algorithm knows what's coming.
Yep, exactly.
No.
Or at least
you.
it knows based on the average what might be coming. And so it's preparing you.
It's you.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a lot of different stuff. And your wife. But I feel like it's just a mixture of the algorithm just being confused, being like, we don't know if you're left, if you're right, if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're a mom, if you're this, if you're that.
That's
if
the
you're,
frustrating thing of
and
an
I barely
algorithm.
get any film.
I am
stuff.
all of these things. Well, not straight and gay, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I get so frustrated by algorithm. It's a flipping echo chamber.
Yeah.
Your algorithm is messed up because you're not looking to see the same thing day in and day out. You're
Yeah.
looking for new experience. You're looking for new opportunity. You're looking for some kind of like new perspective.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, I think.
A lot of times I purposely won't like something so the algorithm doesn't know that I like it.
I like that. I wonder if it works in reverse too. If you start liking things that you don't like,
Then
There's a good chance, yeah. That's true.
just really mess up your algorithm. I'm gonna start liking every Ben Shapiro video that comes up.
what do you mean? Well, you do too, but mainly his sister, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
She has certain assets.
Well, what's her name?
Mrs.
An American man
Mrs.
strikes
Shapiro.
again.
Yeah, it's probably Mrs. Shapiro. Yeah.
Mrs. Shapiro.
He doesn't know her name.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh,
I know her reputation. I do not know her name.
Oh, Gerry. Yeah. How did we get here?
How did we get
Brittany.
Brittany.
This is what happens when Brittany comes up.
Yes.
It's Brittany, bitch.
I would be interested in seeing you. Maybe this could be the podcast.
That could be a cool one.
Where you co-host a podcast, speaking with somebody who has studied pop culture, like you said.
I would love that. I
If
know
you
the right
can,
questions to ask.
if you can find someone that you like, that you think, hey, I think this would be a great conversation, let us know. And when we start releasing everything, we'll reach out. to
Oh,
them.
I will absolutely do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's going to be our goal. Even with everything that we're creating is like, we have people like yourself on and even some other guests, we want to create a platform for you to come on and even like guest host with us where it's people that you find interesting or that can, be interesting to like the general public and knowing like, hey, you could probably have a lot more to say on this than I can or that Gerry can. So like, why don't you come on and like you're one of the people aside us. Liam.
Get me Esther.
That'll be the goal.
That'd
Do
be
that.
like,
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
You'd see me nervous. Like you'd actually.
What I'll do
see
is I'm not
nerves.
going to tell you. I'm going to say that we have someone else, and then so that you just come in and
that
then,
you. If
So
if
that
ever.
so that he's unprepared.
I mean this wholeheartedly.
No, I wouldn't do
If
that.
ever this happens with Brittany, you cannot surprise me. I have to know it's coming.
yeah. Well, the
Because
pop
I
culture
won't.
thing.
I'll be I won't be effective.
Yeah,
I'll walk in here and start crying.
of course. Yeah, same. If I walked in and then Britney Spears was here, I'd
No,
probably
it'd be
start crying
chanting
too.
for you. If I surprised you
You
with
are
Channing
right. You are
Taylor,
correct.
no, you'd be like, you wouldn't.
Again, why is the algorithm showing you that stuff?
So that I can learn his moves.
Did
for
you see
my
that?
lady.
Did you see the new one?
No, I didn't.
You
I still
love
haven't
Selma
seen it.
Hayek.
I know I love Selma Hayek.
I don't understand this.
I know.
I keep telling you to watch it.
I know, and I still haven't watched Black Mirror either. That you told me to. I haven't watched that season that she's in.
Oh, that episode's really good.
It is.
I know. I haven't
She
watched it
literally
yet.
sits in a church. You need to watch it.
I do need to watch it. I need to watch it.
That's so good.
Yeah,
And she gets
Selma.
mad about it. Why would you make me do this? You have to watch it. You have to
I
watch
will.
it.
Yeah, don't ruin anything.
Plus, that's like probably the most important episode of Black Mirror ever.
really,
Yes.
It does touch on a very important topic.
yeah, again, I keep running into situations though where like I want to watch stuff like even the new season of that came out from Flynn, from like the Hill House series. Isn't his last name Flynn?
Oh,
Michael-
Follow the House
Flanagan,
of Usher.
Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Yeah.
Follow the
Yeah,
House
Flanagan.
of Usher.
Flanagan.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
A little
I heard that was
dialogue
good.
heavy, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like so Kim like she'll be like, I don't know, like maybe we'll watch it, and then then we don't watch it for a long time. That's what happened with Black Mirror. You're like, oh, I'm not in the mood to, which is fine.
You're
But
allowed to
then-
watch things without your wife,
But once I know that she doesn't want to watch them, because I don't want to get into that situation where I'm watching stuff that she wants to watch, and then and then we're not watching it at the same time, which is okay.
You get to rewatch
But she just let me know that she doesn't care to watch Follow the House of Usher.
Really?
So now I'm gonna watch by myself.
She's not going to like it anyway. It really is. It's so story heavy. It's
Yeah.
not it's like a film noir, but it's interesting how they take the story and tell it through a modern lens. And what I really enjoyed, what I don't like is watching a show where, so they set up the first episode that if you're really an astute viewer, you already know everybody that's dead. So you can watch the entire series and not have that sensation of who's going to go.
Yep.
Like the
Gotcha.
anxiety.
So you're not
can be
ruining
gone.
anything for me right now.
No.
Okay.
But the anxiety can be gone and you can just enjoy, not
Interesting.
enjoy, but you can just like kind of bear witness without the anxiety on top of it.
Of like who's gonna die?
Right.
Yeah.
It's literally called the Fall of the House of Usher. So
I don't know.
house is going to fall. It's not going to fall on the Wicked Witch of the West.
You don't know that? Yeah.
Speaking of,
I was just about to say, yeah.
how in the world are these? These are the Wicked Witch of the West.
Those are more Freddy Krueger.
They're blue and red.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger does not wear blue.
It's close, okay? It's close.
You're a director.
You should know this. You should know this.
This is like, I think this is why we don't have pop culture conversations. Because I think that you get like, oh no, Patrick really is passionate about this.
No, I will never pretend that I know a lot more about something than I do. I will never like be like, oh, I am so on top of my pop culture for these films or for those films and like whatever. Like I will always be honest with not knowing.
You're not
shit
coming to
about
trivia
Buck.
ever.
I actually have a certain set of skills with trivia. I don't know what that is, but sometimes I'm actually not that bad. Kim and I have gone to a couple.
It's the obscure stuff.
It's the obscure stuff.
I could totally,
but Kim's
like the
also the obscure
swingers
stuff. Yeah, like
and the pineapples. Yeah.
Like there was we were on one, it was around St. Patrick's Day, and we were in Media, Pennsylvania, and we just went to this was like last year, and we went to a bar. Again, I don't drink, but we went to kind of hop around and check out all these places. They had trivia night. So we're like, oh, let's do trivia night. And I ended up getting this one because the category was like all different saints, and it was like saints in this or movies or whatever. And
You
I got
swept
this
the category?
and we did really well in the category. But and again, I was like, I don't know shit about saints, but I got a random one right for Saint Vincent for the movie Saint Vincent. And I've never seen it. Don't even know what it's about. They gave a description, and I was like,
What's the only movie that I know that's named after a saint?
"Really?"
Is
Well,
that what you
it wasn't all movie based. Like it was like just random, like different
okay.
saint things, like that have saint in the name.
Like, who's the saint you pray to if you lost something?
Kind of, yeah, or like whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who that is.
But no,
Paul,
it's Anthony.
Peter,
But
Paul, Jimmy,
you won.
Saint
So you
Jimmy.
couldn't tell me,
No.
but you won.
No, we came close. We did not win, but
This was like the most anticlimactic story. Let me tell you a story about my secret set of skills that I have playing trivia where I lose.
No, but there was. I'll put it this way: there was a lot of obscure questions. The same one was the only one that popped in my head. A lot of obscure shit that we found out that we both know that doesn't necessarily correlate to like our interests, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just random things that we've picked up.
like how I randomly know who Garoppolo is.
How do you just randomly know? Oh yeah, do you want to watch
Yeah,
football?
it's those random, like I'll hear, I'm a stereotype. It is what it is. It's like I will
your
hear a
Prius?
random
Sorry.
sports question and my brain just knows the answer. And it's like it's almost kind of like I'm a little disgusted as it comes out of my mouth, like Garoppolo, like that. I can't even believe that I know the
Yeah.
answer, that I'm like afraid to say it out loud, especially because I might be wrong. I'm not usually, but it's random things.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo. Did I share with you my Jimmy Garoppolo story?
No.
Because I will share this. And this doesn't help my case about anything that I've been saying tonight.
Yep.
With Channing Tatum, with, any different men. So, Jimmy Garoppolo, you'll appreciate this.
He's not like this with anybody else.
I have my moments, but I'm not. So, since you know him, and that he is one of the people that has, I believe, won the genetic lottery. He has pretty good genetics.
He looks like Aladdin.
He's a handsome fella.
That's why I know him.
In one of the new ads that he did, that's why I know him.
No,
he looks like a young George Clooney in one of his new ads that he
The
did.
year
on
that
social
he
media.
was a Patriots player,
Yeah.
I was working for Comcast. I was selling cable door to door, and I knocked on Tom Brady's door.
Did you?
I had no idea that it was Tom. It's a giant mansion at the
Yeah.
time in the middle of like one of those really nice cities near
It
Arlington.
was like Newton or something like
Yeah.
that.
But no one was there. I didn't meet him. It's not an exciting story. But afterwards, I was told, like, oh, that's that person's house. Because,
Yeah.
of course, I'm like taking pictures of the outside of the house. Guys, look at where I want to live one day. Like, anyways. But
Yes.
the only reason why I know about Garoppolo is because he looks like Aladdin. And everyone was really upset that he was like going to be taking Tom Brady's place, and everyone was thinking he was going to retire and Garoppolo was going to take over. And I'm just sitting there going like, good. Tom Brady's ugly. He's not good looking. I don't understand what Giselle saw.
I think a lot of people would disagree.
Although
with you.
right now she doesn't understand what she saw either. So I think that I'm correct.
That's valid. That's valid. Yeah.
That's shade. I'm going to be in trouble after
Nah,
this.
that's okay. That's all right. Let them know.
Well, I like really, that was an opinion.
So what you're saying is that
Not supposed to issue those.
Garoppolo above Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah. In looks.
Yeah.
We're not talking about skill.
Yes. Yeah. Nobody's talking
I
about skill.
am not even remotely close to knowledgeable enough to talk about skill. I'm going to let the professionals do that.
It's okay. He's very injury prone, and it's very upsetting because I love Jimmy Garoppolo and I wanted to see him succeed, but he always gets hurt and he can never like play a full season. So it's very unfortunate. But the story that I will share with you,
He's
because
tiny.
I know that he's not a huge guy.
Right? So imagine being a quarterback. You're tiny.
Yep.
You get hit by one of them.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt at least
other
once
players.
a season.
Yeah.
Well-
what are their positions? What's the name of one of them?
Those would be linebackers, right?
That is
Yeah.
that is one, yeah. Good
No,
job.
the ones who are going to hit him. They'd be the linebackers.
It could be a lineman. It could be one of the defensive line as well. But yes, a lineman, linebacker. Jeez,
There
now
is
you
a
got me
difference
fucking
between
up.
a lineman and a linebacker.
Yeah. Well, in your community.
No. I love sports.
I love sports ball. Yeah. So I'm going to share my damn story about Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yes,
so
okay.
that
Talk about
you will
Garoppolo
like
more.
it. You will like it. It's for you.
I
It's
shouldn't
not
have brought
for
up
Gerry.
sports.
It has nothing to do with sports related, but it's Jimmy Garoppolo related, and you'll like it.
Just tell me it's about Aladdin. Go.
So it's about Aladdin. So there was a magic carpet, and I was working on a documentary for one of the former Patriots players, and I was just one of the camera ops. So we were at Gillette, and it was during preseason. This is when Jimmy Garoppolo was still on the team, and we went in and we interviewed Kraft, and we got to meet Kraft. Really nice, shook his hand. Nice guy. Really nice shoes. That's one of the things he was known for was his shoes.
Robert.
Yes, Robert Kraft.
See, I know random thing. This is what I'm saying. It's like that random, the former owner of the New England Patriots, and I'm sitting there going, Robert Kraft.
No, it's because I said he has nice shoes. And he's like, the owner with
That's
nice
right,
shoes.
the man with the nice shoes.
Oh, Robert Kraft. Yes, the shoes. So we had to get some footage in the field, and then we were allowed to go in and get footage in the locker room. And they were like, "Hey, go in. There'll be a few people in there, but just don't talk to anybody. We're gonna go into like the back area, and then we're just gonna get some footage of some B-roll." And so we're
This
like,
is why I
"Okay."
could not do your job. Could you imagine me walking into a locker room full of New England Patriots and being told I'm not allowed to say anything?
You're like, can I squeal? Can I make noises to myself? And so that was, again, I am just about as straight as they come. I'm pretty straight, and just don't ask Patrick. He'll tell you otherwise. But we walked into the locker room, and then there's Jimmy Garoppolo in a towel, and I was like, there's few times in my life that I've questioned my sexuality. This is one of them.
You felt the twitch a little?
I felt it. Yeah, it twitched and it started talking to me. Yeah, and then we just kind of like looked at me and just nodded, and I'm like, no, but no, yeah, and that's it. And then we walked through, and then we got what we needed to get, and then we left. Nothing was said, nothing was done. But I just remember that, and I just remember being like, what a handsome prick. You know what I mean? Like, just what a handsome dude.
You used the
Like
wrong
his-
word
his-
at the end of
it's
that
a very
sentence.
handsome
Honest to
prick,
God, I'm
yeah.
like, did you actually see it?
Okay.
Oh,
How?
Yeah,
how?
like,
How?
let's
Where?
spill the
Where do
tea.
I stop? Where do I stop? Where do I stop? Where do?
What was
Please
the-
tell me to stop. Ow! 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 Ow!
thank God you're
what
not
a-
a linebacker.
What a handsome man. Yes. So a handsome individual. But yeah, so that was that. And at about the time that I briefly met, Jimmy Garoppolo in a towel. That's why I said that you would appreciate the story. Not because it had anything to do with sports ball.
Because there's a naked man with a towel.
Yes.
Yeah, you've heard it here today, folks. Jimmy Garoppolo has a handsome prick from the horse's mouth.
Nay. What's up?
I just can't. That was, I partied with the Bruins once.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Wow. Did you know that they were the Bruins, or did you just see all these sticks?
Not towards okay. We were at Royale.
Okay.
Mandy, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. my friend Mandy and I were at Royale. We were avoiding former roommates. Like, they were roommates then. They're former roommates now.
Yep.
But we were avoiding them then. We didn't want to spend any time with them. So we like bounced out the house early. And we got to Royale, and we were dressed really, really well that night. And there was like the normal rope off for the VIP section, which was the whole stage. And I was like, I did not just get dressed up to go into the city, pay a $20 cover to get into Royale so that I could not dance on the stage. Like, that is why I picked this club. So Mandy was like, all right, fine. And she just walked up there like she owned the place. And she's stunning. So there is not a single bouncer security guard that's ever going to stop her from getting into anywhere. So the rope just moves aside. She's holding my hand. I'm acting like the little gay best friend, and on we go. So we get there, and immediately there's this giant amount, copious amounts of vodka. And this woman just goes, "What would you like?" And I go, "Oh, that's for everybody." And she goes, "Well, are you supposed to be up here?" And that's my first, like, yes. And, we started drinking, had a good time. And these people are kind of staring at me because I'm wallflowered off in the corner. And Mandy's just talking to everybody because it's straight guys. And one of these guys walks over to me and he's like, "So who are you here with?" And I'm like, "Her." And they're like, "Who is she here with?" And I'm like, I don't know." And they're like, do you know what this is? And I was, no. Do you know who we are? No. No. Is this like some corporate event? Are you like, what's going on? And one of the guys was like, "No, this is, we just won the Stanley Cup. This are all the Bruins." And I was like, "Oh, cool." Flat. And I think that was why the rest of the night happened, because I really didn't care.
Yeah.
I was getting free alcohol. I was on stage at Royale. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
But so we were having a lot of fun with them. They really loved me.
Yeah.
Straight guys, gay, it's easy to round them up. But towards the end of the night, it was like 2:00 in the morning. The whole bar had left because it's 2:00 in the morning, and no one's leaving. 3:00 rolls around, no one's leaving. Finally, like 3:15, one of the bouncers walks up to the guy who asked me and was talking to me most of the night. And there's a little piece of me in the back of my mind that's going like, maybe this guy's gay. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm going to sleep with a Bruins player tonight. So I'm like really trying to be invested here. I'm like pretending I really care about what this guy says. Yep. I'm talking sports with him like I know what I'm talking about, like the whole 9 yards. He's also spending a lot of time talking to Mandy. And of course, it's actually Mandy that he's interested in. But yeah. So we finally leave the bar, and I decided we got to get out before they do because I don't want to get stuck. So we get out onto the street. I am really drunk. I look over at Mandy. She's really drunk. We realize it's after like time to get a cab. We can't take the T home. I have no idea what we're going to do. And as the two of us are sitting there trying to figure out what's next, a stretch Hummer pulls up. She looks at me and I look at her, and we just get in. And we go all the way to the end of the stretch Hummer, and we open up all the bags of Cheetos. I was only vegetarian, so I could still have the Cheetos. Yep. So I'm eating Cheetos. I popped a bottle of champagne. I took my shoes off. I am lounging up against the back of this, and all of a sudden the door opens, and you just see me and Mandy quickly like we're naked, like, oh my God, we're caught. And it's the same guy, and he just looks at me, and I look at him, and he just screams, "Patrick!" And I just scream back, "Bruins!" because I have no idea who this man is. So he gets in the car, and now all of a sudden, this Hummer's driving through the city. It's 4:00 in the morning, and I'm like, I don't know where we're going right now. So I rap on the window, and the driver rolls the window down, and I go, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Logan." And I'm like, "No, we're not. I don't have my passport on me. We can't leave the country. I have school tomorrow." I'm like freaking out. And again, Bruin was like, "It's fine. Turn around. We'll take us to the Mandarin." So we pull up to the Mandarin. Have you guys ever been inside the Mandarin? It's like one of the most prestige hotels in Boston.
Oh, okay.
We pull up to the Mandarin. It's 4:40. I'm like on my phone. Yeah. It's 4:40. We walk in. I'm on one arm. Mandy's on the other arm. We walk up to the hotel lobby desk. There's a woman standing at the desk, and he goes, "I'd like 2 king suites adjoined." And she looks at him and laughs and is like, it's like 4 a.m. We're booked. And he takes this card out of his wallet and he says it again in the exact same way. It was like watching a Martin Scorsese movie. He says it again. He's like, "I'd like 2 king suites adjoined." And all of a sudden, a wall turns into a door and a man steps out in the most beautiful Tom Ford suit I've ever seen in my life. He takes the card, he swipes the card, he hands it back, hands 2 keys and goes, "There you go, sir. You're on the top floor."
Nice.
I found out later it was Tuukka Rask.
No way.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
I don't care. Like but apparently that's a big deal. Like when I tell
That is
people
a
this
big
story
deal.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"Who was it?" It was like, it was Tuukka. I mean, we get up to the hotel room. It's the king suite. So there's like multiple bedrooms.
Yeah.
So him and Mandy go off in a bedroom.
Oh.
Mandy says that it was a very, very polite evening. And I believe it because there was, I think, too much alcohol involved for any useful
Gotcha.
member to be active. So I'm hungry and I'm alone in a king suite that's been paid for by a Bruins player. And naturally, I call room service. I didn't think they'd answer because it was like 5 a.m. They were there.
Nice.
I ordered everything. Pancakes. I ordered home fries. I ordered waffles. I actually think I even ordered a couple meat products because I knew the boys would be hungry and I was being a mom. I ordered like sausage, sandwich, egg and cheese sandwiches, like pizza, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went to go take a shower and I fell asleep in the shower and I forgot. And I woke up to pounding on the door because room service had like $150 worth of food just like sitting in the hallway. So it was loud enough that it woke all the Bruins up. By now it's probably like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Everyone comes out. They're all looking at me like, "Thank you so much. This is great. We need a gay with us all the time." And then Mandy comes out completely disheveled. She's still wearing her dress. So like, I know nothing happened because you can't get out of this dress without help.
Gotcha.
So like the fact that she got it back on her own was not possible. She comes stumbling out, one heel on, one heel off, looking at me. She literally kicks the door in. "It's time to leave, bitches!" And that was it. We left the hotel, we got in a cab, we went home, and I never saw the Bruins again.
That's hilarious.
Beautiful.
I really hope that Tuukka Rask sees this.
Right? Wouldn't that
this?
start a new friendship? That'd be
Oh
really
my
cool.
God.
Have him here. Let me be the interviewer one day.
Yes.
We have a surprise for you, Tuukka.
Do you remember this man? Yeah. Oh my God. That would make my life. Oh, we
be
need to make
good.
that happen. Also, Kim's going to really love that story. She's a huge, huge Bruins fan. I mean, hockey family and all that stuff. Bigger than me.
You know what's funny is if I'm going to watch anything, especially live, I'd rather watch hockey.
I used to not be a huge fan of hockey because my dad was never like, he would watch it, but that was probably lower on the totem pole.
Yeah, my
of
dad was
Boston
baseball.
sports. Yeah, same. My dad was always baseball and then football and then hockey and basketball. And, but Kim got me so much into hockey. I'm not even going to say that I liked hockey that much before her. I didn't. I was always a Bruins fan because it's Boston, but I never really watched it too much. I used to go to games a lot, but yeah, it's definitely really entertaining.
I finally went to what's the word before Hawks? Is it Seahawks?
Riverhawks.
Riverhawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Seahawks.
Makes so much sense for a hockey team.
Yes.
Although hockey.
Well, Riverhawks. It's from Lowell. There's Riverhawks.
I
and
know,
all
but
that
like
stuff on the
there's
Merrimack.
rivers all over the world.
Yeah.
The Nile.
It's not really a very famous river.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, I went to a Riverhawks. They're not shows. Yeah, game. I love myself so much in this moment. I'm going to let that go.
I love
Anyways, went to a Riverhawks game, and I had never watched hockey before.
Oh,
ever.
really? Okay.
I probably 20. Like,
Yeah.
it took a
Okay.
while. The first time that I ever watched one of them, like, really push the other one into a wall, just like body slam. Oh, man. if you ever wondered if I was really a man, that's the time to know, like, I got hot-blooded. I was like, oh, yeah, like the rage in me that all of a sudden started. And I was like, fucking kill him! It was like, where did this come from?
Slugging back.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just crushing him on his head.
Harpoons. Maybe the good ylang-ylang once in a while. A nice blue moon with an orange slice.
Oh, that's
See,
good.
I have to bring it back, You can't make me all the way straight. You took it too far.
You did.
Sorry.
How dare you, Gerry? How dare
Bud
you?
Lights.
So, Patrick, today has been awesome. I hope that you've had a good time. This has
Yeah.
been great.
Thank you for doing this. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
thank
was
you for
nice.
doing this,
It was pleasant.
and it was very pleasant. I feel like we
Very
had
profound. There was a lot of good conversation here.
a lot of great stuff. I mean, as we assumed that there would be, because I feel like there's so many aspects to Patrick and so many levels. Because we'll have you on again at some point where we don't know where the conversation is going to go, but we know that it's going to go somewhere good. And that's something where even when we're having conversations elsewhere, not on a podcast, that's what always happens. So I was really excited to have you on. You did not disappoint.
Good.
And just know that I appreciate you. We both do.
Yes.
And yeah, we just thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Anytime.
Anytime. So there's a couple things that we do at the end of each episode. One is we give you a platform if there's anything else that you want to say, or at least give plugs to your business or anything else that you want to do and where people can find you or to reach out to you for any type of inquiries, then please do that. And then also afterwards, if there's any questions that you have for us about anything, even though you asked a few good questions, but that's not mandatory. We just always like to open up the floor for that.
Yeah. I terrible at promoting myself in my own business. So, again, my name is Patrick James. I am the proprietor of Wildflower Color Bar in Andover, Massachusetts. If you found that I was entertaining, or if you think that there is something more you'd like to learn from me, please check out my website at wildflower.glossgenius.com. You can also just Google search Wildflower Andover. I come up pretty easily. Or you can direct message me at patrick.james.hair on Instagram, and I will get back to you.
Nice. Yeah, and we'll include, if you're watching this on YouTube, we will include all of this information in the description down below, so you'll be able to find all of that very easily.
Great. And then my only question is to Gerry to figure out when is a good time to go to Primark and do a little makeover.
Maybe when we get back from this next work trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do like a little spoof part too. Like how in the 80s montage, there's always the really dumb outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll add one of those.
That'll just be your normal time.
Yeah.
It'll cut, and then it'll just be you.
It's going to be great.
We're going to have to get the rights to a really good song. I want a montage.
We can't sing anything right now, so we're not monetized yet, but we don't want to get demonetized before we get monetized.
We should talk to Mike Postner.
Yes.
That'd be great montage.
What was the
song.
name of the song that you
So
did the music video to, Mike?
So
What was the name of the song?
we
So people can find it.
thank you again, Patrick.
It's out there. You'll find it.
Thank you again, Patrick, for being on, and this concludes another great episode. But this is also my favorite part of every single episode, which is the outro, which Gerry does in
I
such
do
an
what now?
amazing
What do I do?
manner every single time.
Yeah.
So-
and again, totally prepared.
Will he nail it?
I don't know,
Nobody does.
except for me.
So take us out.
All right.
man.
All right. Let me take a sip of our future sponsor here, Liquid Death. Still waiting for that phone call.
Obligatory sip. Do you need a drum roll?
Preferably. All right. All right. I got it. All right. And thank you so much for joining us on this lovely episode of If I Were to Have a Podcast. And Patrick, thank you for being on this podcast with us today. If you want to feel the best about yourself that you possibly can, go see Wildflower. Is it, what's it called?
Color bar.
Wild Color. Go see Patrick James in Andover.
That was good.
All right.
You got this.
All right. There you have it, folks. Thank you again for watching. See you next time. All right. Let me. I got this time. I'm good.
You're good.
And there you have it, another episode of If I Were to Have a Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Patrick, thank you so much for being on. If you like this video, go ahead and like this video and like the video and go see Patrick. I forgot to plug you. Sorry. He kind of plugged himself.
You'd like to plug them?
Yes, I would love to plug him.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, from the top, here we go. And there you have it, another episode of If I Were to Have a Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Patrick, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure. If you want to feel the best that you can feel about yourself, go see Patrick James in Andover. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button because we're going to be pumping out videos every single week. And let us know down in the comments what you want to see more of. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Well done.
Nailed it!
If I were to have a podcast.